Do you want to sports bet in a fun and legal way, but don't really know where to do it? Well, we have the app for you. It's the Better Edge app. Better Edge is a legal online social betting marketplace that allows you to post and engage with other sports betting fans, place no commission positions in an online marketplace, compete in direct head-to-head challenges with horrible bettors such as myself, where you can bet against your friends. If you have a bet that you want to make in a particular game, you can bet them on that particular game. You can also compete in public or private betting competitions. You can buy or sell positions on the spread, over, under, money line at current market prices. So if you use promo code 10K10K at betteredge.com, you can get a free $20 when you sign up and verify your ID. Once again, that's 10K10K at bettoredge.com to get a free $20.
On this episode of It's a Bit, we're joined by our friend Barstool Chief, part of Barstool Chicago, to talk sports and beyond. We also go into our bits of the week as always and end the show by playing Wags' game, 20 questions. So all that and more on It's a Bit.
You're listening to the It's a Bit podcast presented by 10,000 Takes.
You just made the roster.
Janine empire called 10,000 Takes.
Fucking like that?
Hey, you know those guys that do 10,000 takes? They do some funny bits, right?
They're good. They're funny dudes.
Yeah.
10,000 take.
All right, welcome back to It's a Bit, presented by 10,000 Takes. My name is Bossman, joined by producer Cam, journalist Jake, and a remote Wags, because Minnesota is in the middle of what we can call a snowmageddon, I think is the word I've seen used. 2 feet of snow in the next 48 hours, or a foot of snow, or what's the exact numbers on it?
I heard anywhere from a foot to a foot and a half, something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot. It looks like a freaking tundra up here. Well, it's like it stopped halfway through Tuesday, and then we're gonna get even more.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, it stopped. No, it's coming back.
Zane, I'm disappointed that you didn't want to risk your life and the condition of your vehicle for one single podcast episode. I'm fucking disappointed in you.
I'm just not for the boys today. I apologize. I sincerely apologize. But in all seriousness, I want to say between like 12 and 2, that was some of the densest snowfall I've ever seen in my entire life. I seriously have never seen it come down just like that. Like, I went outside to like throw the ball around with my dog at the start of it. I went out about 30 minutes later. You couldn't even see my footprints anymore.
See, I love when it snows during the day, because when you're sitting in meetings and you're questioning life, you can like stare out at the snow and it's something to look at.
Yeah, it's a little peaceful. I did notice earlier today, I thought I forgot about this actually. I thought I needed to go out and help, but I heard a bunch of like tires screeching out in front of the house, or like halfway through the day, and I see the mail person.
Oh shit!
In their little mail truck, like tires screeching near our driveway, like in between two of our houses or whatever, neighbor's house. And they got out of it somehow, but they were sitting there for like a few minutes trying to go back and forth, rocking back and forth. So it was quite a scene here in Minnesota.
You gotta think they deck those trucks out though, right? Like with good tires and stuff.
You would think there's small vehicles though.
That would make too much sense, Zane, for all the taxes we pay. Right?
No.
Yeah, I know the state
USPS,
wouldn't do that.
No,
dude, that reminds me. I think the first snowfall of the year. So like I've said before, we live on a hill, and there was a UPS truck that had dropped off a package at the neighbor's house, and he was trying to go up the hill, and he like got halfway up and started spinning. He goes in reverse, tries again, same story, gets a little further, goes in reverse. And at this point, I'm just standing out on the porch, and I'm like, I should probably help, but this is pretty entertaining to watch. This motherfucker backs down all the way in reverse back to like the start of the road and just floors it. And I mean, he's clipping at the bottom of the hill. He gets about halfway up the hill and just barely creeps over the top of it. And I'm like, this guy is probably just saying some heinous things in that truck right now.
He does not get paid enough.
No.
He
But I
is
was
not
like,
Evil Knievel.
why the fuck do I live in this state?
I was laughing the first 2 tries, but by try number 3, I was rooting for him. I was like, I really hope this guy gets on top of this hill, because then I'm gonna have to go outside and help him out. So it's a snowmageddon part 2.
Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do, like even on the steep driveways or any road for that matter. You just literally have to, if you have 4-wheel drive, put it in 4-wheel drive and just gut it and just pray.
That's what I did to get up the driveway today after work.
That's what you have to do.
Floored it.
Yep.
Yeah. You can't gradually
you're talking
go
about
up.
the 10K driveway. You have to floor it with your truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And conditions like today.
Even
yes.
if the snow has been blown.
Yep. So if there's ice like on that, obviously it's middle of summer. Don't do that.
Put it in four-wheel drive and floor it
gun up
directly into
and
the
then
garage
and
door.
see how quick you can stop before you hit the garage.
That's
But
a fun game.
yeah, that'd be fun. We can try that this summer. We can film it. But no, in the winter, yeah, you do have to. You have to gun it, and even when you gun it, you feel like you're driving maybe normal speed up the driveway.
Yeah, Donnie drives a car. I don't even know how. I don't know how he does it.
And he drives to Bloomington for work every day.
Yeah.
No.
Psychotic.
And that car, for whatever reason, seems to have a bad tire like every month. I don't know if it's the same tire that's problematic, but I feel like every time I go in the garage and I see his car, there's just a sad like flat tire on one of the
I'm pretty sure he's still driving on a donut.
Yeah.
He's been doing
The
that.
spare tire.
He lives on the edge,
been
and I
doing that
respect him
forever.
for it.
Yeah.
Especially in
Wild
this
guy.
weather, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, let's get into our bits of the week. We'll start with you, Remote Wags. What do you got?
Yeah, I have the screamo bit, and that's when you take like a normal song and then you just start singing it like a screamo singer.
Metalcore.
We were at Cuzzy's for New Year's Eve, and is it Uptown? Where the heck is Cuzzy's? I didn't drive there.
It's
North
in
Loop.
The North Loop.
North
It's
Loop,
in
that's
the
it, yeah.
Loop.
Yeah.
The deep. And Sweet Caroline came on.
Oh goodness.
How this bit started, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jake just starts singing along to the song, but as a screamo singer, and the whole entire bar was staring at us. It started going like, and he just started screaming that whole thing. We had about like, I want to say half the bar was staring at us during it, and I mean, just what a bit, man! It was ballsy to do, and you did it relatively sober, I think, too.
Yeah, it was earlier in the night. Well, people were like, "Oh, you're hammered." No, I'm surprisingly not hammered. I've done this before, but it definitely escalates when I have more alcohol in my system.
It was pretty funny, but it did make me drink more because everyone was looking at us.
Yeah,
I'm like, I am with this guy right now.
You keep forgetting how small like Cuzzy's is too, and like people could definitely hear me.
Can you remake it?
Like the Sweet Caroline?
I actually have videos from him. Like I have him doing it that night.
Well, let's let him do it live.
You want me to do it live?
yeah.
What
Yeah.
other song did I did it before Sweet Caroline? There was another song that came on.
Yeah, I think you. So I think on Touch Tunes you played the Minnesota Wild theme song.
Oh no,
New Year's
I
Eve.
did. I found the
That's
Minnesota
on
Wild
Touch
theme song.
Tunes?
Yes,
That's wild.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Oh, I didn't even try to do
Minnesota
that,
Wild.
by the way.
I don't think I did a screamo to that, but I was trying to sing that to the best of my ability. But then I think Sweet Caroline came on.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's an artist out there who does this normally, right? Like he turns very pop songs into like screamo rock type songs. It's a band, and I know because a guy I went to college with had a CD in his car of like Katy Perry but screamo.
That's awesome.
There's a
So
few
it'd be
bands
like,
that do that.
California
girls
are
are
undeniable. Yeah, that's what it was,
Cover
dude.
of that.
Well, I Prevail does it, and then I think, one of Taylor Swift's songs.
There was
But here's the thing, though. I mean, that's like an artist move, like doing something artistically. Jake is just being or not even a drunk fuck.
No.
He's just in a bar singing normal songs as a screamo guy.
Sweet Caroline.
There it is.
Ba ba ba.
R.I.P. headphone users.
Yeah, sorry.
The funniest one I've ever seen is someone did it to Lollipop by Lil Wayne.
Yeah, people do it, man.
God.
It's fucking. I think the band Our Last Night does a lot of those covers.
I think that sounds familiar. I think
the
that's who I'm
band.
thinking of.
Yeah, they
It's
do
just
a lot
it's
of.
like a ton of Taylor Swift and Katy Perry, and
Yep.
it's very poppy music that like middle school girls listen to, and
It's just heavy drums.
It's grown men screaming.
and double kick pedals.
Yeah,
It's
Oh my
fucking
God.
hilarious.
Jake needs to calm down with the music bit.
Yeah, true.
It's a good
Jake,
bit.
for some of the things you rip on other people doing, but then you go out and do that in public.
And then you go out and post drum solos.
Oh, who cares about that?
I mean,
It's
you're
fun.
passionate. But
I'm passionate
you
about
got to calm
drums.
down.
You got to calm down, Jake.
I'm
It's
all
a good
for
thing to not
shaming
calm down
someone
about.
who just plays drums and posts it on socials. Else, no one wants to see that. I'm all for shaming Jake for that.
I like seeing it come together
All right, well, Jake likes
in
it.
like
That's
a
all that
mixer.
matters.
Yeah,
That's all that matters.
it's
Yeah.
like
All right.
music editing.
Producer Cam, what do you got?
My bit, I'm just going to repeat it. It's the bit that keeps on giving. It's my theme of the winter. It's the hashtag hockey guy bit.
Yep.
I feel like I'm steadily getting better at skating. We went out last night, and it was the first time I actually felt comfortable. So I've just been on the grind to become a hockey player, maybe make it to the beer leagues one day.
That's a good goal. That's basically I was at where you're at last year. It's a process.
It's a process. Well, yeah, you were out on the ice and you're like, I'm fucking hooked now.
I was, because
I'm
I
a-
finally felt like I knew somewhat what I was doing, and I was moving around the whole time.
You're lifting the puck?
Felt great.
Yeah, and
Big
Cam is in the video. We got a banger video coming on the 10K YouTube. Just search 10,000 takes, subscribe, and like while you're there. See that plug? While Cam and Jake and Zooch were all shooting, I got fully padded. I put on Jake's goalie pads, and they all took shots on me. And I'm going to say, I've only started editing the preliminary parts of the video, but it's fucking hilarious. So,
Josie, too.
Yeah, Josie is there as well. So, yeah, look out for that. But, yeah, Cam's out skating. I'm in goalie pads. We don't really know what's going on anymore these days.
I got to say, first off, in general, Cam has been very impressive on the ice. And then Jack actually didn't look horrible in net. He did a general partial butterfly here and there.
No injuries.
No injuries. That's the biggest thing. You did stretch before, so that's key.
Yeah, I'm glad you told me to do that because I think I'd be in way worse shape if I didn't.
It helps.
I think I might cry.
Why?
Jake just complimented me on the podcast for the first time ever.
Oh.
That doesn't happen.
Jake,
is that the first time?
Jake,
that doesn't happen.
Cam celebrated you not being here last week.
Oh, really?
It was fantastic.
No, I what did you say?
We all did, actually.
It was a round of applause.
Oh, wow.
Jake
I love that.
Cam said Jake's not here.
I think the people need a break from me once in a while.
I'm glad you listen, though. It means a lot.
I really do think people need a break from my voice.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
No, but you're right, Jake. Cam looked pretty good on skates. I wasn't as terrible as I thought in net. I think this group is actually a lot more athletic than we think we are. But then we give ourselves credit for.
And then we go into the Minnesotan Cup and get our asses kicked.
I was going to say, enjoy while it lasts.
Well, as the designated high-sticking coach, I won't have any of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get your sticks up.
You're the high-sticking coach?
That's what I've titled myself.
So you're a coach who trains players to get high-sticking penalties?
I promote
to
violence.
avoid them.
No. I promote it. I promote violence.
We don't want guys in the box.
You should
get your sticks up.
You should be the stick coach, and be able to You should be the stick coach instead, and actually give people their backup sticks if they break it on the ice.
Yeah, but if you keep it on the ice, I'm gonna be pissed.
What?
Get your sticks up.
Okay.
That's my slogan.
So
okay, that goes against the coach's philosophy of keeping sticks on the ice.
Yeah, well, banging bodies is the first rule.
Yeah,
always bang bodies. Get the puck in deep and skate. But what I was going to say about that, this year's Minnesotan Cup tournament team, it's not just me as head coach anymore. I have recruited 5 assistant coaches, and we're all going to have matching jackets.
It's going to be fantastic.
I think they all should be assigned except for maybe one of the coaches,
position?
They should each be assigned a coaching position. You could have maybe one true assistant coach, but then have the other 3, be like,
what we need is you need
position.
to designate an assistant coach and then make Andy the assistant to the assistant coach.
Yes.
No, Andy's going to be the stick boy.
The water boy.
Yeah. Water boy.
Well, so if there's 6 of us, looking at the roster, I know Adam Lucas wanted to be the strength and conditioning coach, even though this team will be going nowhere near our weight room before the tournament. I guess Sam Rowland, he'll be filming, but then Jack Johansson is probably the best person I have as an assistant because he was the only person on the coaching staff who played. But then again, he'll probably be the most drunk one out of all of us.
Isn't he going to play?
No.
Oh, he's not.
I thought he was. Coach.
I thought he was playing.
And then there's Cam, who is apparently the high-sticking coach. Andy actually could be the smelling candle connoisseur coach. So, if the players are stressed out, Andy will pull out a variety of scented candles to bring the mind back to level playing field.
I might be the aggression coach.
I love this idea of assigning bits for the coaches and having them fully commit for the tournament. That would be good.
It's funny we're doing this, but this is what football teams are doing in real life. Football teams have, I feel 100 coaches these days. You learn that there's a quarterback throwing coach now. Some
passing
teams
game
have.
coordinator.
Yeah, what?
That doesn't make any
this
sense.
I might be the aggression coach too, because Jake literally said this to me. He's like, Cam, I want you to come up to me and grab me by the helmet and throw me around.
Yeah,
you said that.
I want you to choke me, then spit in my mouth.
That's kind of what he said.
I think I literally said, and then I want you to spit in my mouth.
Oh,
get fucking pissed at me if I make a mistake.
You could be the assistant coach, the instigator specialty. So specialist. So your job is to encourage the players to start fights to get in the other team's head.
As the number 1 Ryan Reeves fan in the world, that's actually fitting.
Okay, you got to study more Ryan Reeves, and we got to have a plan by
you have to watch some tape on him.
Yeah,
dude, I actually wish fighting was allowed at the Minnesota Cup because we had someone who was literally a grinder for when NA3 did was fight, and Zachary Marlowe. I have such an edge up on the competition if we could just beat the shit out of these guys.
True.
He has to put tape around his wrist from fighting. It's a fun fact every time he plays.
Who?
So, Marlowe.
Shut up.
This is
Really?
Friday was the first time I ever went skating with him, and he was like taping his wrists. I'm like, the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh, I like destroyed my wrist from fighting years ago, and like now I have to tape them every time I do something active. I'm like, that's kind of sick, but that also sucks.
Yeah.
He just looks like he's getting
Hockey
ready for
guy.
a boxing match.
Hockey guy, yeah.
Yeah. That's sometimes what it comes down to when you play a game of hockey.
It's part of the game. We
boxing.
got to tell Corey, you know what? Maybe just allow
A little bit.
of fighting, just a little bit,
Just a couple rounds.
just a little bit. All right, journalist Jake, what's your bit?
Mine is the wide receiver bit. So I've done this for a while, but this is when Cam knows about this right before we showed up to Cuzzy's on Saturday night. When you were crossing the street, wide receivers line up to the line of scrimmage and they point at the ref and they set up in their wide receiver position. They wait for the quarterback to snap the ball. Why sit there and wait for cars in a boring way and just stand there like a normal fucking person? I'm not normal, so clearly I'm going to do something different. I line up like a wide receiver. I point to an invisible ref. I wait for someone to hike the ball, and then I run a route across the street to make it more entertaining. It's the wide receiver bit when you're crossing the street.
It's essentially like instead of looking at a ref, you're looking at the sign with the hand.
Yep, exactly. Or the cars.
You're literally a human squirrel.
Yeah. Okay.
No one else does that.
Yeah, but it's fun. I don't want to sit there and just watch it. Cars,
Jake,
and it's boring.
Run a post route, but go between the cars that are stopped at the red light.
I should do that. I think I have in the past, like, juked around cars.
Jake just gets ran over by a Ford F-150.
Yeah.
If
If
you're running between cars,
Training.
Someone might pull out a gun and shoot you.
Yeah, I know.
Pass interference.
I would
defense.
watch where you do that.
Pass interference. I just throw a flag. Someone will be behind me with flags and just throw them.
Oh, dude, I have those. I need to bring those flags to the bar. I always forget I have those.
Yeah.
And
false start.
next time,
It's like a
too
weird.
drunk.
It's not something you think about bringing to a bar in general, though, right? So you got to actually plan it out.
I think that'd be funny.
You could bring the flags to the bar and throw it on Jake for excessive horniness.
Yeah,
'cause that
or
usually happens.
excessive screaming.
Well, there's
Yeah.
another
Right
person
now.
that could be used for, but I'm not going to say his name. Yeah. No, or someone's just too drunk or they're being too loud, which that would probably happen to me for sure. Singing too much, just throw flags.
Yep.
I could have a challenge flag, though.
But what would the penalty be? Like you have to
Buy 2 drinks.
No, you go 10 yards away from us.
Yeah.
And then eventually you have so many flags that you can't embarrass us anymore because you're so far away. You're like 40 yards away. 'cause
I'm literally
you've
out of
gotten
the bar.
You've gotten 4 flags.
You got to throw all of them.
Thrown out of the bar.
Right away. We walk into the
But
door.
Jake can have a challenge flag.
Yep.
We needed someone to film so that we can
True.
go back and review because maybe I was hearing someone else sing and it wasn't
Yeah.
Jake. So there's got to be
Review the tape.
You got to hold someone accountable.
It's like
here.
those, the progressive commercials or whatever
Yep.
when they throw the flag.
We
That's-
need that in real life.
Yep. Instant replay.
Yep.
All right, I'll close this out here. My bit of the week is stop sports betting the day before holidays bit. This is oddly specific, I know, and it doesn't really apply to everyone. It seems to only apply to me, but it's not because it makes me such a bad family member by being at these holiday parties and worrying about spreads and over-unders, but I shouldn't be devoting all my time to sports betting on the day before holidays because I'm really bad at it. On Christmas Eve, I went 0 for 5, and on New Year's Eve, I went 1 for 4. So within a week span of Eve holiday nights, I'm 1 for 9 on sports bets. And that's just a bad financial look for me. So I should stop devoting my holiday Eve parties to sports betting. This isn't coming out as the way I envisioned it, but I gotta.
But it makes sense.
The day
we
before
get
a
it.
holiday, stay off better edge and everything else because you're probably going to lose money.
It's just part of it. I think it's God or someone punishing you for not spending time with family
Yep.
and just celebrating the holidays and taking a break because, yeah, there's something there.
Well, New Year's Eve, we were watching the Michigan TCU game, and Jack's like, yeah, I threw a bet on Michigan on the spread. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Threw $100 on it. Yeah, that was depressing.
So,
Yeah.
and this is very ironic because we're about to have Chief on, who I think was debating on teasing Michigan minus 13.5 at like plus 175. So I'm really curious to see if he ended up doing that. And if so, I feel bad for him, but we're going to find out. But yeah, I guess just stop sports betting the day before holidays, at least for me, because that seems to be bad luck. But
It's
Right.
been bad luck for me.
Are you kind of notorious for that? I feel like you've had a few pretty rough Thanksgivings in the past as well. Did you
Yeah.
bet Minnesota money line on New Year's last year too?
I don't remember. All I know is I did do the Gophers minus 7.5 down in that bowl game on Thursday. That was a bad beat.
Yeah.
That was a really bad
Minus
beat.
7.5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they won by 8?
No,
Yeah,
they
it's
won
28.
by
I thought so.
6.
They won by 6.
Oh gosh.
or something. It was really close.
Yeah.
No, maybe they were minus
No,
10.
Yeah, it was minus 10.
Because they
Minus
won
10 and a half. They
28
won by
to 20.
7.
Yeah, it was 10
or
and a half.
8. Whatever. It was close.
Yeah.
But we ended up recovering that fumble. Our guy, Mariano Sorimarin, picked up the fumble and ran probably 50 yards, which for those who don't know, Mariano's a linebacker. He's a big guy. He did not, in fact, make it to the end zone. He got tackled, and they found out that there was a penalty on the Gophers. So they didn't get the fumble. But anyways, I was pulling for Mariano to get the touchdown. I actually texted him instantly and was like, dude, I really wanted you to score there. He responded after the game. He's like, I was huffing and puffing, but I couldn't make it. So, yeah, tough. But anyways, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll get into our interview with Barstool Chief. Hey, Vikings fans. If you're a regular listener on the official Vikings pregame show on 100.3 FM or kfan.iheart.com, you should listen to 10,000 Takes 2 hours before every game. We do a little skit between the first and second segment, whether it's a funny TV commercial, movie trailer. I think last week we did a fraudulent investment ad on investing in the Green Bay Packers because it's basically a scam. Something funny to get your pregame started. So once again, if you listen to Vikings pregame 2 hours before kickoff on the official Vikings radio network, 100.3 FM or kfan.iheart.com, you can listen to us, 10,000 Takes, deliver a weekly skit between the first and second segments. Once again, 2 hours before every kickoff. Tune into 100.3 FM, kfan.iheart.com. Listen to us, 10,000 Takes. Give a little comedic skit before the game. All right, welcome back to It's a Bit, folks. We're joined by very special guest, friend of the program, recurring guest. We got Barstool Chief, obviously member of Barstool Chicago, co-host of Redline Radio and DogWalk, and in what we could call probably sports hell right now. Is that true, Chief?
Yeah, I've been saying like I'm on to 2023, like the old Belichick, but 2023 is probably not going to be much better. Now we're here, and it's just like I need to not. I don't want to live here until like June, until like Bedard is drafted by the Hawks, because right now it's bleak. It's always darkest before it's completely black, and it's like I need football to be over. I need hockey to be over. Baseball I don't really care about so much, and I live right by Wrigley, so I like going over. It's a nice night. I'll walk over, get a ticket, because people don't care about that as much. But yeah, it's been bad. Like it's a rare thing for me to be jealous of people from Minnesota when it comes to sports. But
that's weird.
That's the
That's where you're at.
Yeah, that's how bleak it is.
It's funny that you mentioned like you want to be in that period where it's like April, May, and June, because that's the perfect time when like the only thing that's happening is basically baseball. And all the other sports are in the off season, and all you can think about with them is like, okay, well, I have hope when the season does come, but it's not here yet. So like you can't really truly feel good about it, but you can't feel bad about it either, unlike you are right now.
Yeah, like this last game, it's a weird thing with the Bears this year, and where I actually do feel kind of good about them. Like they're the best 3-13 team I've ever seen. Getting blown out last week by the Lions was tough, but they have by far the most amount of cap space for next year. They got a full allotment plus of draft picks. I do believe in Justin Fields, so I feel like next fall, I feel like the Bears. I think that division is actually going to be pretty competitive. Like top to bottom, the Vikings should still be good. The Lions are biting kneecaps like Dan Campbell said he would.
Yep.
And I think the Bears are shockingly trending in the right direction, even if the record doesn't reflect it. And then Aaron Rodgers, if he's still there, the Packers are going to be dangerous. So the NFC North should be a dogfight next year.
Well, Ryan Poles, your GM, said that they were going to take the North and never give it back. Clearly that wasn't the case this year. But is that true going forward, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, when the Bears won the division in 2018, we put the North remembers, like the Game of Thrones thing with like a Bears kind of Game of Thrones mashup logo, and that was like the most short-lived run of being champs ever. That like a week later, it was double doink, and it's been miserable ever since. That was 2018.
Cody Parkey.
I do think that I really think Fields is the guy. I think he's got a chance to be the best quarterback in the division next year. And if you got the best quarterback, you have a chance to take it and never give it back. So we'll see how it goes.
And Justin Fields is also one of those guys that you can always count on 2 or 3 laughable press conferences per year, rolling back to earlier this season when he unintentionally basically bashed the fans. I know he wasn't like meaning to say the fans don't put in any work, but he pissed off everybody. And then was it last week or the week before where he accidentally made a sex joke? Something about big dudes coming on your back, and then he's like, oh whoops. Like,
whoops.
At least he realized it.
A little slip.
He's a young guy.
Was a big dude coming on his back.
That's true. I mean, it's true.
He wiped that guy off, and he was sprinting away just like you should when a big guy comes on your back.
Yeah.
You don't let it bother you.
Naturally.
You don't let it get to you.
Yeah. And he didn't. He was right back the next week.
Yeah.
So ready for more.
Fields is scary. Like I definitely think he's the guy. The way he can run, we haven't seen anyone run like that since Vic.
No. Well, people would say Lamar Jackson, but I think Justin Fields is probably more effective.
But Jackson's always hurt. We're doing the Tyler Huntley thing, and
it's weird over there.
I do think Fields is already a better passer than Lamar. He literally just has no weapons. Like he had one probably legitimate, competent NFL wide receiver is Darnell Mooney, but he's probably a 2 or a 3 on a good team. If you give him Justin Jefferson, it's a different conversation. It's like, so, we had the game against you where he threw the ball to Smith Marset. Like they had a little bit of momentum on that 2-minute drill, tight game late. And they got, strip fumble, and it's so they've had a guy named Nsimba Webster catch a ball last week, and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
That's when you know.
Webster, like what? And it's like, I guess he was like a practice squad guy, like had like a couple of catches in but like it's the most anonymous, no-name loser position group I have ever seen at the NFL. But next year, you hope that they're able to get a guy who can be like a 1, even if he's not like a star. Like you guys are so blessed. Jefferson's the best receiver in the league. But if you get a guy who's like a 1, and then Mooney becomes your 2, then you have Claypool, I think ideally would be in like that 3. And then I like the tight end Kmet. Now all of a sudden, like the offense starts to come together, and you just need like 4 new offensive linemen on top of that, and you're good to go.
The entire thing.
Just 4. Yeah. Just the whole new team.
It's funny, like you mentioned the depth thing, because that's kind of how it goes with like the Wild. When we have all these injuries, they start calling up all these people. I'm like, who is Nick Petan? I've never heard that name. Except luckily it ends up working out in the end. But like I kind of get how that feels, because there's sometimes where your teams are just calling up people. Same with the Vikings O lineman.
Yeah,
like the guy they put in at center today or yesterday.
The third stringer.
Yeah, he didn't even know the snap count. So Kirk is trying to hike the ball.
He's clapping, and the guy's just holding the ball like he's never hiked a ball in his fucking life.
I got a feeling that won't matter this week, boys.
Yeah.
So, when's this show come out?
This comes out tomorrow, Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday.
Yeah, so you'll be playing the Bears. Kirk Cousins will be totally fine. Are they playing for anything in that game, the Vikings?
They could still play for the 2 seed. If Frisco loses to the fucking Cardinals.
Which could happen.
You never know. Is it still Colt McCoy down there?
Trace McSorley.
Throwing
on a dime, right?
Goodness.
McCoy played last week, so probably him.
It would be McCoy.
Okay.
A guy where you're like, there's also guys too, like your own teams where you see guys, they come out on the field like, who the fuck is that? There's also guys like Colt McCoy. When you're watching a game randomly throughout the year, you're like, Colt McCoy, he's still in the league?
Yeah.
Same
guy.
Yeah. There are guys like that where you see watching the game that pop up. You're like, wait, that he's not retired? Why is he still in the league?
Right.
He's like a whack-a-mole. Like I never know. Like I loved him at Texas, but it's like, like he pops up with Washington, then he goes underground for a few years. He pops up at Cleveland. He goes, disappears for another. Like he's in witness protection. Then he comes back. Like, you had no idea where he was. And it's like, he's in Arizona. Good for him. Still getting paid.
I feel like Brian Hoyer's like that too. He comes out of the woodworks like every 2 years. It's like
former Chicago Bear great.
Yeah. Mike Glennon.
Brian Hoyer is still getting paid by somebody.
Another Chicago Bear great.
Yeah, Mike Glennon. They're coming out of Chicago.
Just keep naming shitty quarterbacks. We'll see how many.
Chase McDaniel. Chase Daniel.
Bears.
Bears.
I mean, now I know you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
But like, if you just name like a random guy, there's like a pretty decent Jimmy Clausen. Where is he?
Yeah.
Bears. Matt Castle. Was he a Bears guy?
No, but I remember when he was getting like rumored to be traded, ended up going to the Chiefs. I was like, Bears should go get him.
Yeah.
I was like, I was
guy.
convinced that Castle was going to be,
long-time Bear,
a little bit better than Grossman. That's all they needed.
And it's unfortunate with all those different quarterbacks you just listed that you guys never got the Fitzmagic touch that half the league got as well.
I mean, I wouldn't rule it out for next year.
Yeah.
You never know.
They're not gonna.
He'd fit
He
right
could be
in
a
in
backup.
Chicago.
What?
He'd fit right in Chicago. Just the look.
He's got the vibe.
Totally.
Yeah.
He would be a fan favorite here. He's got a relationship with Big Cat.
Yep.
Like get him to be the backup. I think that is a perfect fit.
Except he could be like a backup such as Joe Flacco, where he's like, I don't actually want to play. I just want to be on the sideline and like mentor the young guys. And get paid.
Really just getting paid.
Yeah.
Game checks.
To not have to go do a normal job or retire yet, so you can say you're still a football player.
Put that Harvard degree to use.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Seriously, mentoring players. That's a good way to use the degree. What would you say? I'm giving a hypothetical here. Say the Kirk haters in Minnesota get their way, and we get Justin Fields in a trade. How would you feel about that?
Because people have posed the question.
Yeah.
That's something that's being floated. I don't think there's many guys in the world that I would trade Justin Fields for at this point. 23 years old, bright future ahead of him. Certainly not for unless it's noon on a Sunday. Then maybe you do that. If you play all your games at noon, maybe we'll talk about it.
Or if he's sipping Gatorade, because that's apparently a thing as well. Like when he drinks. Have you seen that stat? It's like after Kirk is shown on TV sipping Gatorade out of a cup, he just goes off.
Yeah,
it's happened like 4 times in a row. It's
It could even be water for all we know.
I'll be paying attention to that. I got to say, I've cashed in on the same game parlays of Kirk Cousins over completions and Justin Jefferson. It's still somehow it's always like 6.5, and I'm like, well, he's definitely gonna get that. And I feel like that has been a nice little bet all year long.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of team Kirk Cousins. I've always loved him back to his college days in Michigan State. I always thought he's like a perfectly fine, and he seems like a nice boy.
He's a respectful man.
He's a respectful accountant.
Goes to
quarterback.
church.
Yes.
Definitely.
He's a Midwest guy. He would
pays his taxes.
Yep.
All of that.
Yep.
Respectable.
Gives back.
Yeah, he gives back to the community. He's your just typical. If he wasn't playing football, he would be laying low. You would have no idea who he is. He'd be another person just blending in, working an 8 to 4.
Yep.
Coaching like he's not even like the head coach on his kids' t-ball team. He'd be like the assistant, like the first base
guy who is just there for confidence boosters. Like, oh, Timmy, that was a great hit, man.
But the fucking kids would love him.
Yes, they would.
They would love that.
And
guy.
he would bring the best snacks too.
Yes, he seems like a big snack guy.
All the kids would be like, "Fuck everyone else's snacks. Like, I want Kirk snacks because he's got the best shit."
Yeah.
Well,
speaking of, I guess, Chicago and everything, I know the last time we talked to you, you guys were in search of a new office. Have you found said office? I know you were looking at even a Rob Dyrdek style place. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, that's coming.
Really?
I believe we've found the location. So it's going to be on the west side. It's going to have full court basketball. Like
dope.
Who knows? It's going to be like Big Cat's Funhouse, and should have plenty of space, plenty of studio. So I love the office we have now, but Big Cat's coming back, I think in like June or August, something like that. And we're supposed to be in the new office, I think by September, October. And then he's bringing 15, 20 people, maybe more with him. So got to have space for all those, the New York migrants coming out here. So
that's crazy.
It's going to be something else. It's going to be like, I think people are going to have their minds blown when they see that thing unveiled.
So my first follow-up question, when you mention like a full basketball court, I think about like if we did something like that, and I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is who's going to be the first person to sustain a long-term injury in the new office.
That's happening. Because now it's like everybody, like, why do we need full court? No one wants to play full court. So unless you're having just like 2 pickup games on either side, but it's Achilles, like, and I remember like when my first job out of college, I played in like an office after work basketball league, and there was a guy, and I remember being like, this guy's fucking old. Why is he out there? He was probably my age. He was probably 35, 36 years old, just dribbling casually, top of the key, snapped his Achilles. Like, just basically it was like he was walking at like an unusual, like a normal kind of, but with a little pickup to it, and snapped that Achilles to the point that I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. It balls up like a fist and just sits on top of your calf. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
That will happen in that office, guaranteed.
Yeah, I had one of my best friends from high school was playing in an alumni soccer game a couple months ago, and same story. He said he was just jogging, snapped his Achilles, and apparently it was like super loud too, like everyone could hear it. Yeah. So that's a very real injury.
So that's that. Like, I'm trying to. I wonder who would be the first one. It might be me. ankle problems anyway, so it would not shock me if I was the person to go down.
Yeah.
Well, is the new place going to be, is it safe to say the new place is going to be Dave Portnoy approved, unlike your first office that was in the back, Farmers Insurance?
Yeah, it was the back of the Farmers Insurance. It was a shared space. There was a TV repairman in there. There was a State Farm Insurance. There was an accountant, a immigration attorney, and then us.
Yep.
There you go.
Great work environment. So yeah, Dave had no idea about that office, and obviously until he saw it. And then we moved into this one. He was pleased with that, but I don't think Dave gives a fuck about this office either. I don't like. He'll be like, oh yeah, it looks nice, and he'll come there 2-3 times a year for like March Madness or stuff. But he could not be like further away from that process because Penn is, Penn's our parent company. They're taking over 100% of the company, I think, in March. And then Dave is just rich. So Dave's going to live in Florida. He might build his own office, but he definitely does not care what's going to happen in Chicago.
Well, and speaking of your current office, this might hit a little too close to home, but your current office, it seems to be a good place to shit in front of.
That was gross. And so that was out there. I think that was 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. Just walking in, go to reach for the handle, and there's like a giant messy shit all over the front door, like a diarrhea, like splatter. Like you needed like a forensic. You ever seen like those like the true crime things? They bring in like the blood splatter analysis,
caution tape.
Yeah, that's what we were kind of figuring out. Like, okay, like this guy's got to be like 6'1". Was this a targeted thing? Was this about Barstool Chicago, or was he just because we have the train, the Belmont stop right there. We get some creatures walking around there.
Oh, I bet.
Could have just been the guy being like, hey, like this is as good a spot as any to shit. How about this door? And now it's finally gone, but like the building came by and like sprayed it down with a hose, but it had like this stain that just sat there.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, and it like on the cement, it was like somehow it seeped into the cement, and it was just like, so every time you walk by, you're like, ugh. But
You're
now,
just
like
reminded
today,
of it.
after the holiday, I feel like it was the first time I looked and didn't notice anything. So, yeah, we people shitting on our door, not great.
I remember seeing that. I think you tweeted that early in the morning, and like I woke up and saw that, and I was like, I might throw up. Like just seeing that photo.
I don't like it, and it's like one of those things where it's like funny because it, make content out of anything. I guess make a story out of anything. And we were actually joking. So we have like that weekend or not. It comes out on like every other Friday called Stool Scenes, where it's just like I don't know, like just different shit from our office, like kind of behind the scenes, like little bits. And we didn't have anything. Like nothing happened for those 2 weeks. We're like, well, the shit on the door was actually like a gift from the god because now we have like at least 5 to 7 minutes of stuff that we can put in that episode of that show. Otherwise, it would have been like a 6-minute episode of like basically nothing. So thank God someone came and shit on our door. And then it was like, what even is this job? Why am I doing this job?
Talking about shit on our door.
Oh, this is great. Someone shit on my door. That was what went through my head. Like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Someone shit here.
Yeah, we had a squirrel in our house over the summer, like a live squirrel running around. And our first reaction was, this is terrible. And our second reaction was, this is going to be great content. Mm-hmm. So of course you get the hockey stick out, you get the gloves, you get the shield, and you just make a whole bit out of it. So
take advantage.
That is pretty funny. I want to say in the old Milton office, so we're talking like 2014 probably, Dave had a squirrel living in his wall for like a year and a half. Just like had it and like was able to like get it on camera. Would like try to feed it every once in a while. Couldn't get it out, but he was just like, yeah, whatever. I got a squirrel living in here. But he had a squirrel living in his wall in his office for I think like over a year. So that you're in good company.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
At least we could see the squirrel. It was not in the wall.
Yeah.
So we have a step up there and we were able to capture it. But
yeah.
Well, I mean, really quick though, can you think of any reason that anyone would have any sort of animosity towards the Barstool Chicago office to shit on the door? Against anyone or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I hate us. I don't I mean, We were like, could it be an inside job?
Yeah.
Could someone just have just had a bad day at the office and just turned around and be like, I'm going to shit all over our own door as like, a modern art thing of what we think about our own products. But yeah, I don't know. And like I have a friend who's a detective in the Chicago Police Department, and I called him as like kind of a joke. And then he's like, hey, I'm not busy. Like, what's your office address? And he's like, there's cameras all over there. He's like, I think we could find this guy. And I'm like, all right, well, let's see. He goes, well, you'd have to file a police report. And I'm like, something like 700 unsolved murders. I don't think I'm comfortable like using police resources to find the shitter.
Yeah.
So, but it is one of those things where it's like I wish we were able to easily do it, because I would love the video of somebody just taking a shit on our door. Like that would have just put a nice little bow on our 2022 if we could have had the video of the culprit.
Yep, you just throw that in the end of the year montage.
Yep, right there.
All the achievements, and then it's just someone just dumping in your front door.
The highlight reel.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't just imagine though, like whoever goes through the cases to like at the police department to work on, and they just see this shit on door.
It's got to be like an intern or a newbie kind of job, right? Because like you said, a good citizen move on your part to say, you know what, let's worry about the murders and not the shitting. But yeah, I would be curious who would get stuck with that one.
Yeah, I'm also curious. I don't want to stick on this topic too long because it could get very disgusting. But I wonder if this happened in more places than not, and we have like a mass shitter on the loose in
Could
Chicago.
be a serial shitter. You got to look out for those people.
Oh goodness.
Now you got me thinking that I kind of want. Well, like I said, the Belmont stop is like half a block away. I mean, your odds of stepping in shit is like maybe every other day walking underneath there. So I think maybe the person just got lost, and they're like, hey, I normally shit on this door six doors down.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, this one will do.
Yep.
And it's a little like not private, but it's a little secluded. It's back, like kind of built out from the street a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's like you got a little privacy wall there. So yeah, makes some sense.
Why not?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's transition into another shitty topic, at least for you.
Let's.
The Chicago Blackhawks. The first question.
You guys need any players? You guys want some players? We got some.
Taze?
We'll take Taze
We'll take Taze.
and Kane for the right price, but probably can't afford that.
Yeah.
But
we'll eat half.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
I guess the first question is, I know you're super pumped about Bedard and the tank for Bedard, but does it scare you that despite how bad the Blackhawks are, they could still get the 8th overall pick?
I think the 8th. I think it's the lowest they can drop is 4th.
Is that how that works?
Pretty sure. I don't think you can drop more than 3 spots. I'm pretty sure.
Where are they sitting right now?
They're the worst team in the league. Right
now. Okay. So then you're okay.
You're in a good
spot. You are in the pole position, fellas.
Okay. Okay, that explains it. So they're worse than I thought.
But 4 is scary. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
4 is pretty scary.
In the NHL draft, it can be scary.
They actually can't go lower than 3.
Especially where I think the top 2 guys, actually. I think Fantilli is going to be a superstar in the league, too. Just Bedard's been so undeniably awesome in this World Junior that it's like he's fucking special. I was talking to Eddie today, where it's like we might just pitch in to the 2 of us, buy season tickets for next year in advance, because if they do win that lottery, then it becomes a hockey town again. Yep. And people will want to go to the games, and we'll be able to sell the tickets at a profit. But it's like you kind of gotta maybe get in now.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's the plan. I mean, they're executing. Everybody knew that this was the plan. Like they were going to be the worst team or one of the worst teams in the league. Hope for the lottery gods and get Bedard or Fantilli, but hopefully now Bedard, because I've never seen a kid like him. I don't know how much of you guys have been watching this tournament, but
I saw the goal. I don't know if it was yesterday or whenever, but where he basically from the point dangled like the entire defense.
It's crazy, and he like gets these shots off where it's like you shouldn't be able to like physically be able to shoot the puck that way with your body angled in that, like you have no leverage, but it just flies off his stick. He's incredible. Yeah, so that would be great if they got him, but they are the worst team. It's hard to watch. Like they're on tonight. It's a chore. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to try to get through a full period.
Yep.
But I don't think I can do it. They're playing Tampa. They're going to get smoked. And so, yeah, I'm probably just going to bet Tampa -1.5 and just, hold my nose the whole time.
Just
'cause
hedge your sadness.
You never
Yeah.
know. I mean, we're talking about getting the first. You're talking about getting the lottery. They could win out with Alex Stalock, and
Yeah, put Stalock
and they'll
in
make
that.
the playoffs, and they'll make one last run with Taze and
Stalock's
Kane.
basically like the goalie version of Colt McCoy.
I was just
Yeah,
about
I
to
know.
say
He
we
pops up.
went to the preseason game at the X and Stalock was starting. We're like, wait, is that Alex Stalock?
He's still in the
net right
league?
now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
I mean, good
so-
for him, but
I think he might have he was one of the guys that had myocarditis too. Like it's actually kind of a good story where he like was out of hockey because of a COVID related heart issue and then took a year off. And then the Hawks were
that's
like,
right.
we got a spot for you.
Yeah, come on
We're
over.
trying to lose. Why don't
You
you
want
come
to
on
play
down?
goalie? We got a goalie spot, like selling it like
Yeah.
drugs. Like,
Oh,
Our
wow.
guys last year were a little too good for what we're trying to do. So why don't you come on in?
Yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts on our Wild this year?
You know, I don't think you guys are gonna like it.
Okay, that's fine. You know what?
oh god, he thinks we're frauds,
We can be. Yep. Shit.
like the Vikings.
Well, I do think the West is bad. Like I think there's nobody. I mean, Colorado's all beat up, but the West is just who are you afraid of out there? I think Dallas is good, but I don't think
they're
Winnipeg
beatable.
They're definitely beatable unless they get Patrick Kane, which I think that actually makes some sense.
Damn it.
Patrick Kane to Dallas makes
Yeah.
sense. And then, but yeah, it's like Vegas, they're looking good, but I do think it's kind of a toss up. But eventually, Colorado is going to have to get healthy. They're going to have to go on a run. They are still, even though they're currently, I looked this up today, even though they're currently still outside the playoff picture, they're sitting ninth right now. They're the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup per.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And because you
Yeah.
know they're going to get hot at the right time.
That's hockey, man.
And they just have to get in. Like
Yeah.
they could be one of these wild card teams, but I do think Minnesota could beat Winnipeg and they could win a round. But
That's what we want to hear.
That's actually so. You just explained our Stanley Cup.
There you go. We just
Yeah.
want to win.
We
want to
win one round. That's it. Anything after that is just
Yeah.
sugar on top.
Yeah,
Well, I think I jinxed you guys in the spring because I was all over the Wild.
That's
in the
right.
You
spring.
were.
That's right.
Yeah, and they had St. Louis right in the first round.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Which we
Yeah.
should. I'm not gonna. We should have won that series. Like,
Yeah, should have won that series.
Up 2-1 going into Sunday, and then they put in Binnington, and it's like the whole world flipped upside down.
Bennington decided to just play well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which he sometimes does that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like he sucks for months on end, and then
Yeah.
he'll just be like, "All right, fine," and then he gets hot, and then that was all it took for the Blues. So
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
It's
I
fun.
have a soft spot for the Wild. I love Hartman. I know he's
Hartsey?
hurt right now.
He's back.
Or is
He's back though, and he
Okay.
he dropped 2 goals against was that
Okay.
Friday night's game? I can't remember who it was, but he had a really good game.
You talking about New Year's?
No,
New Year's
game,
Eve, Saturday. It was.
was that the game he put in too?
Yeah, it was the Blues.
Blues.
Yeah, the Blues.
Yep.
He got his
New
revenge.
Year's Eve.
Yeah, good.
He's getting
So
back
I love
at him.
Hartsey.
Yep.
They got a lot of guys that I like on that team, and not to like pump you guys up, but I like the good people of Minnesota, and I feel like
Yeah. Well, look, I
Mark-
got the shirt on.
there you go.
Wore the
Love
shirt.
it.
We
Love
got
it.
our own.
Yeah.
Billy
so
Gamble's
it's what it's all
sweatshirt.
about. It's all.
Right.
Some things are bigger than sports.
And you
Some
got
things.
yeah, and then you got to know about Bill Guerin, Billy G. I mean,
I
it's
love
all
Bill
about
Guerin.
fucking winning.
It's all about fucking winning.
Yeah, Billy
So-
Gambles.
He was one of my favorite players when I was a kid too. Like Devils, Bruin. Like he was a nasty, fucking tough guy who could put the puck in the net, which is what I always liked. And so yeah, like Billy Guerin's doing a job up there. I like some of their young kids too. Boldy's looking like a nice player. I thought Rossi would kind of pop off this year. It seems like he's a little slow getting acclimated to the league. So, but yeah, they're a good team, and I thought they'd miss Kevin Fiala a lot, but they seem like they're plugging along. So they're a good. They're like, this is what we're talking about with the Blackhawks, where it's like, if you get Bedard, well, then maybe you can run back the 2010s kind of all over again. If you do get the 4th pick, you're still going to end up being a pretty good team.
Right.
You're just going to be like the Minnesota Wild,
Yeah.
which is, I don't know how long people
Mediocrity.
wanna-
Yeah. I mean, we're stuck in the middle of good and great. I
Well,
guess.
we are been like one of the best regular season NHL teams of like the last decade or 15 years.
Yeah.
And just cannot made the playoffs. I think it's just like the Detroit Red Wings and Pittsburgh Penguins that actually have a higher like playoff streak and making it year after year. We actually have like the third or fourth. We made the playoffs the third or fourth most in terms of season after season, but we can't do shit in the playoffs. It's so annoying.
And you ran into the Hawks 3 times in a row in that when the Hawks were at the peak of their powers. Like, what are you going to do? Like, that was with Parise and Suter. Like, that was a really good team. You're not Taves and Kane and Keith.
No.
That's just
I mean, you mentioned how soft the West is. Like, this is probably our chance. This is the window.
This is the time.
St. Louis is banged
kind of
up.
like the NFC.
Yeah.
Where it just feels like kind of wide open, where you don't have to deal with Mahomes and Burrow and all like this Jake Allen, all those like stud quarterbacks in the AFC. You can throw a dart in the NFC. Like the Vikings could go on a run and make the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be shocked by that.
Yeah, after I saw the way the Saints played the Eagles, I was like, okay, it might be possible. The Eagles, the Eagles were the juggernaut.
I know they had Gardner Minshew, but my God, like what the hell happened there?
I bet the Eagles. The Eagles.
Do you have them on the spread?
I parlayed it with Jacksonville because I think Jacksonville. That's another AFC quarterback. Trevor Lawrence looks like he's turned the corner. The AFC has so many like good young stud quarterbacks. The NFC just doesn't. So except for Fields, and so I do think that the Vikings could like. I don't know. But I could also see them losing to like Brock Purdy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. Getting blown out in the first round.
Well, I don't know if we would play them first round, but probably we could easily play them the second.
Is it looking like the Giants first round?
Yeah, right now,
heard.
which
it's
concerning either way. I mean, it's the Vikings in the playoffs. It's like the Wild in the playoffs. It's a Minnesota team in the playoffs for that matter. That's how it goes.
Right now it is the Giants right now. So you're right. But I'm trying to pull up the wild card here.
Daniel Jones has a historic performance.
Oh, geez. And and then
it's like, could you end up where it's like fucking like I would not want to play Tom Brady. Like,
not right now.
Not in the playoffs.
No.
Right, exactly.
He's hot right now, actually.
He seems like he had that one pass to who's the great wide receiver?
Mike Evans.
Yeah, where he just bombed it. I'm like, oh, that looks like Tom from 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. He's getting back into it.
That would make me nervous.
Yeah.
So.
Well, post-divorce Tom is a heck of a lot better than pre-divorce Tom.
He's like, what, 4-2, 5-2
he's
since
got a winning
the divorce?
record since
the
papers were signed.
Through it. Yeah.
He's loving it. He's banging somebody. Helping him.
Divorce lawyers' pages went up.
Yeah.
He's got.
Can you imagine what his
testimony.
DMs must be like?
Oh goodness.
My God.
Right when he got the. I mean, they're probably already crazy before the divorce. So it's like
I'd skip right to the blue check marks.
Yep.
And
all right, who do I got here?
Just line them up like it's a police thing.
Like it's a fucking Bachelor.
Yeah.
I feel like he probably has a guy that's in charge of that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep. He's definitely got a guy for that.
Relations.
Yeah.
I have public relations,
intimate relations.
Intimate relations.
Yeah.
I was gonna say sexual relations, but that's probably a little too.
No, it's the same vein. You could have a guy for that one too.
That's the old Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Did not have sexual relations.
Right.
The president said it. You can say it.
Yeah.
He has
sexual relations.
He has one guy looking for his girlfriend. He has another guy looking for the woman he just wants to hook up with.
Yeah, exactly. You got to balance them both out.
You have the money. You can pay the roles.
It's Tom Brady,
and you're gonna need a release in the playoffs.
Right.
So
yep.
You got to have like that. Like you don't want to just be like alone sitting up at night. You got to have some kind of stress relief.
Right.
And that's what what his sexual. What'd you call it? Sexual
relations
advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sexual relations advisor.
Well, if you want to be the juggernaut, you got to let out the juggernaut.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about.
You can't. It's like the league in the show. The
that's
league.
What I'm saying. Yeah. The juggernaut.
The juggernaut.
Yep.
Can't let that happen to you. Well, really quick too. How do people feel about the Vikings in Chicago? Do they think they're frauds, or what's the vibe like?
I think it's, I think the Vikings are pretty good. I feel like they're on TV a lot, so I end up watching them and I bet them a lot. So I think they're pretty good. It is one of those things where you can just never fully trust Kirk Cousins. Like he's not that guy where you're like, we're going. It's not like it's Burrow or Mahomes, or it's like we're going to war with fucking Kirk Cousins. Fuck, he can lay an egg at any time. But I think they have basically everything else that you would want. They got a ton of weapons, and it is this. If there was ever a year, I think it's this year because there is no lights out dominant team.
Yeah,
no.
This is the launch window.
This is the time. I just don't think they can't be going down 14 points in a playoff game and trying to come back.
No.
Can't happen
Not
with
against
that shit.
Not against any of the teams in the playoffs. Maybe the Giants.
Playoffs. Maybe the Giants.
Giants will let you come back.
Maybe we would still with
Daniel
Danny
Jones,
Dimes.
a nice guy. He'll let you come back. Brian. Brian Dable.
You shut down.
He's kind of like a bizarro Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he's like Kirk Cousins if something went wrong during the pregnancy or something.
Yeah. Daniel Jones, you're talking about?
Came out a little off.
Yeah, he's kind of a
He was overcooked.
he's Kmart Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins from Wish.com.
Yeah, just one of those.
He
kind
can
of
run
ordeals.
though. That's what I love about Daniel Jones. He can scramble, and like that's something that you don't
be
realize
scared.
how bad
Yeah.
you know how bad it is until you don't have a quarterback who can do that.
That I was because Bears played the Giants earlier this year, and it was Daniel Jones. Like he might have had 100 yards in that game.
Daniel
it
Vick?
was all like it was all bootlegs. It was all like naked bootlegs, and it was like I don't know. Maybe the Bears have to fire this coach because they're like you can't figure out how to stop Daniel Jones. And I like Eberflus, but it's like if you can't figure out how to stop a naked bootleg by Daniel Jones, he's not Justin Fields. He's like a good athlete. He's not like a freak, but he had in that first half, he might have had like 60, 70 yards rushing. It was insane.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like a guy who runs.
No.
He's a tall, kind of lanky guy. He looks like a typical pocket QB. But then again, he kind of has the same
he
build
wants to
as.
sell you life insurance.
Yes,
Exactly. Kind of like
exactly.
he looks like you go to the machine. I want a quarterback.
Yep.
White quarterback.
Yep.
Give me a white quarterback.
And
That's
his
Daniel
brother's
Jones.
Josh Allen because he
Exactly.
apparently does the same thing where he kind of runs sometimes. And
Yeah, he does it a little bit. You know, just your typical packaged quarterback.
Yep.
That's what he is.
Well, really quick, going back to the Blackhawks, you're probably well aware of the Blackhawks fan that lives here in Minnesota that goes to all the games, and the cameras target him every time the Blackhawks lose just because he always looks really sad.
No, I haven't seen that actually.
Oh,
you guys got to send that.
I think every
Blackhawks Wild game or just every Wild game?
I think every Blackhawks Wild game he's at. So
Okay.
when we were at that preseason game, we unfortunately weren't at the one at home a few weeks ago. But when we were at that preseason game when we were talking about Stalock, I ran into him outside of fucking Truck Park, which is in downtown St. Paul, right by the Exo Energy Center. I'm like, dude, and he recognized me because I ran into him last year outside of a Minneapolis bar, and I think I was pretty intoxicated on water, but I may or may not have tagged you, Chief. I think I might have tagged you. Like, how does it feel to lose in the preseason or some stupid shit? And I took a picture with him.
I'm sending this to you now. Oh,
right.
it didn't crop right. Give me a sec.
Yeah, it's this guy. Well, because you sending him the video.
The
Or just
video
the
might
pictures?
be harder to find, but I
Okay.
do have the pictures.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
You probably,
You're
yeah.
gonna absolutely recognize this guy the second you see him. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where I feel like it would be funnier if he was just going to like
Every game.
like Wild versus Kraken.
Wearing
And then
a-
they're like scoreboard watching. It's like the Hawks lose again. They go to that guy immediately. Like that would be.
I just sent it
That'd
to
be
you.
good.
You definitely
Yeah, I
have
just
probably
got it.
seen this guy.
Oh, I have seen this.
Yeah.
I've seen this guy. I mean, this guy is me. Like,
Yeah.
this sums up everybody's mood for really the last 8 years. They're gonna go Taves and Kane signed those monster extensions. They're gonna go that this is the final year of an 8-year like kind of max deal, if you will. They're not gonna win one playoff series in that entire run. It is unfathomable that they went 8 years without a playoff series win. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that guy picture is just like, yep, that's our reality. He should be the mascot. We should get rid of Tommy Hawk. We should bring him home and just be like, play like the Price is Right music. And
Yeah.
then pan to him every time you give him a goal.
Yep. Just give him like an honorary seat in the stadium that's reserved for him, and it has like the gold plate and the little red velvet thing rope around it, and it's like this is reserved for the sad guy we're gonna pan to every time the Blackhawks go down 4 in the second.
They should make him sit on like a paint bucket or something. Just make his experience that much more miserable.
Give him a beer that's like 80% foam.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a cold pretzel with
The
no
cheap
salt.
beer too.
It honestly wouldn't. I went to the game maybe 3 weeks ago. They played Winnipeg. They got smoked, and it was like I was sitting there with a buddy. I hadn't seen him in like a year, so we just caught up, and it was just like you're having a conversation. There's a hockey game going on in the background. Nobody's cheering for anything, and it was just like, oh, this is like a nice time. Thanks for having me out.
Yeah.
But like there's just nothing exciting, and you just kind of wait for whistles, and then you look to Kane because he's just like, what the fuck? He's like, I can't believe like he can't hide his body language, his disgust and disappointment with line mates and teammates and just the general situation of how awful it is.
Yeah.
He's like he's just going through the
Going through the motions. Trying to get to the trade deadline.
of playing hockey at this point. What am I doing? I'm just playing. Okay, let's just go out and play hockey.
Yeah.
See what happens?
My like dream scenario. I kind of am starting to think he's not going to get traded because I don't
really.
Yeah, I don't. He has a full no trade clause, so whoever wants him has all the leverage. And I think there's only a couple teams where it makes sense. I can't imagine he would go to like a small market like a Winnipeg or even like a team that's like kind of good in a big market, like even the Rangers. Like the Rangers been playing well, but they don't look like a cup team to me, even if they added Patrick Kane. So it's like, why even moving them? You're gonna get maybe like a late first round, maybe get a late first round pick and some prospect. Just keep them and win the lottery and be like, hey, you
trust
get to play
the process.
Yeah, and then just play your we got Connor Bedard, and he's going to move into your house, and you're going to get 100 points a year playing with him, and we're sorry for the last 8 years. We're sorry.
Yeah, just forget about it. Just put it in the rear view.
Yeah, that happened to somebody else. We're sorry, but here's this nice shiny toy, and he's yours to play with, and his name is Connor Bedard.
Yep, and he is the guy.
That's my dream scenario.
Yep.
He's the man. He's the man. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out.
We're rooting for you though in the lottery because the rivalry needs to be back on.
Yeah.
Like I think you said it last time. You're like, we can't ever align on like when you guys are good, we're bad, and vice versa.
Yeah.
We can't ever get to this point where other than like the years in the playoffs, but it would just be nice to have the rivalry back.
Yeah, that it felt like because I have like a bunch of friends from Minnesota, they hated me. I didn't really hate them.
Yeah.
Like there was like, like you guys are a cute little try hard little engine that could kind of team.
Yeah.
And we'll dust you on our way to play LA and Boston in the cup, and we'll just, you guys, nice try. That kind of, and I would just be the biggest asshole, like patronizing cocksucker, and they hated me for it. But that's my favorite. So I would love to get to a place where it's like a genuine, like, I don't know who's going to win this, and I hate you guys. So I would love to hate you guys. You guys are nice guys now.
Yeah.
But I would love in the future to be able to hate your guts.
Yeah.
No, yeah, right back at you. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, just like 10, 12 years ago, like I remember when it was the peak or right when the Patrick Kane and the Taves era was starting to come up. I think they won the cup in 2010. Around that time, I remember going to Blackhawks Wild games, and it was just heated in there. It was just between fans, just Blackhawks fans like just screaming,
just fights,
go Black, or like this screaming to go Chicago, and then I think I saw a fight at the 2015 Western Conference semifinal, Game 3 when we lost 1-0, courtesy of a Patrick Kane goal. There was a lot of shit going down there. We'd start yelling Crawford, and it was just so fucking fun. And now we don't have that anymore. The Wild have never really had a rivalry, especially since they got into the league in 2000. And it was Chicago because we always had that with the North Stars, and it kind of built up a little bit. Now it's just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, and it's our fault. Hand up, our fault. We suck. We are so fucking pathetic. But I've kind of been longing to hate someone. I love hating people. It's like my favorite thing in sports. Yeah. And the Hawks, like, it was the Wings, but then they went to the Eastern Conference. So like that kind of,
they kind of suck.
They only play twice a year, and they've been bad. And I would love, my favorite time as a Hawks fan was when it was them in Vancouver, and they would have these like line brawls, and they played in the playoffs, went 6 and 7 games 3 years in a row. Hawks won 2, they won 1. That was like the most fun I've ever had, and it's because I hated their guts, and I would love to hate your guts.
Yep, I like that though. Hopefully we'll get to that point one day. I
would love it with Bears Vikings too. Like,
the
Packers is always going to be the thing. It's probably the thing for you guys too.
Oh God, yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah. So it's like the enemy of my enemy kind of situation. But if Aaron Rodgers just goes on another ayahuasca trip and it never comes back, then I do think it becomes like Bears and Vikings for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy what I was telling Cam before we recorded is like if the Packers fans were totally out on Rodgers, earlier in the year when they were sucking and everything, and then we're talking about Jordan Love and whatnot. If the Packers win this week and they're in the playoffs, they're going to have him forever. They're going to want to keep him forever. If they lose, they're going to want him out again. That's the way I feel like Packers fans are going to swing with this game. It's nuts.
Well, they're playing the Lions, and spoiler alert, they're going to win.
Yeah.
The Packers are going to win, and they're going to be in the playoffs. And if I'm you guys, I don't even know if I want that 2 seed.
Exactly.
No. I don't want either of those teams
because
right now.
if they win, or I think, well, don't the Lions?
Are the Lions?
They need to win, but then they need Seattle to
No,
lose.
it's the other way around. If
The Lions,
Green Bay
the
wins,
Lions
they're
are
in.
currently
I'm just saying the for the Lions to
Oh,
get
yeah.
in,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
need Seattle to lose,
And they need to beat
and,
the Packers.
and they need to beat the Packers.
yeah. That's not something that goes the Lions' way.
No,
No,
Never.
they're definitely done. It's
Yeah,
history
they're gonna
repeats
get their
itself.
hearts ripped out for sure.
Yeah.
So and I do like I got love for I like the state of Michigan, so I got love for them too in a way. Like they're a sad sack team just like us, but I love seeing when their fans are just like,
I know.
and they just can't quite get over the hump. But yeah, if it's Packers Vikings in the first round somehow,
I'd be scared to death.
I'm betting the Packers. Like
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. Like Aaron Rodgers wins that game, Kirk Cousins doesn't.
But we did win to open up the year against the Packers.
So that's
Yeah,
our
it
Super
was
Bowl.
big
Not
stadium.
matter.
But
Does
playoffs
not-
are different. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well,
Hang it in the
but
rafters.
how fucking great it would be actually though if Detroit did beat Green Bay in Green Bay to knock them out of the playoffs.
That'd be
You know how
sweet.
fucking awesome.
And
that would
everyone
be?
loves Dan Campbell, man.
God,
Man.
that'd be
He's
awesome.
electric. Yeah, he's great. He's great to watch. Like he's a quote machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Lions are kind of like we said that kind of off the top. That we were talking about this on our podcast. So the Bears are sitting with the second overall pick now. The Lions have the Rams pick, which I think is 6 or 7. Would they trade up to get like if they're not totally sold on Goff being like their franchise guy, which they're probably not, to go get like Bryce Young or Stroud, trade up with, and would the Bears then be like, yeah, we'll give you guys a potential franchise quarterback in the division? It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out at the draft. The Bears are definitely going to try to trade back because they have a quarterback.
Right. Which is crazy because I saw some people on Twitter like proposing the question, like, do the Bears go after CJ Stroud? I'm like, no, they have the upgraded. They have the upgraded version of CJ Stroud already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Ohio State.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of Dave Portnoys who only watch Red Zone.
Yeah.
And they see like, he threw an interception at the end, but it's like,
He's
the
bad.
route got jumped
Fuck him.
because they got receivers who run like I do. So,
Right.
Quite
you know,
frankly,
but he-
though. Well, no, go ahead.
No, I couldn't hear you. I cut you off. What'd you say?
No, I just said I just think a lot of the time, which is weird, when I've been watching Red Zone this year, I would usually see a fucking Justin Fields like 60-yard touchdown run,
Or,
him going off.
him
I'm like,
running.
what's going on? They end up losing the game. I'm like, oh, that sucks. But
Yeah.
you always have killer plays.
They had so many games this year where like, and this is like the worst NFL roster I think I've ever seen. Like they probably need legitimately 30 new guys. Like not even an exaggeration. They need 30 new guys to be like a playoff team next year. But having said that, there was probably 10 games this year that were one or two plays, one or two like one score, whereas like you were in the game the whole game and then it kind of fit, you blew it somehow.
Right.
But it does give you a little hope for next year. Where it's like if you upgrade the roster a little, Fields gets a little bit better. You're playing, the quote unquote last place schedule. You'll have one of the easier schedules in the league. That they could win 8, 9, 10 games, something like that next year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And that could put you right into a playoff spot, even with 8
Yeah,
wins. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well,
that's all I care about. Just get in the playoffs. Be confident.
It's funny you mentioned Dave Portnoy because I saw one of your guys' stool scenes videos where you were opening the Chicago bar, which looks sweet, by the way. But he was quoted saying, quote unquote, this VIP list, I don't want it to be a ton of fat guys sitting around looking at each other. That's not the vibe we're going for. And you had a 10 out of 10 response to that. You said, welcome to the Midwest, because that is the most truest thing ever.
I mean, and it's like I don't want a bunch of fat guys sitting there like,
well,
you hired us.
Yeah.
It's, that was your fault. Don't blame us. And you're like, what? You hired the 4 fat guys. You think we just roll with like a ton of hot chicks? Like,
Yeah.
we don't. Okay, we all have just like our girlfriends, and that's it. And they don't, So if he has a problem with the VIP list being disgusting looking, he can only blame himself.
It's the Midwest, though. It's so true. We're talking about this.
This is the backbone of America. These fat guys make up this. We built this country.
We built the beer industry, and
you
beer
like that
industry.
Miller Lite? Yeah. Well, you're welcome.
You're fucking welcome.
There you go. We provide a lot of that income to those companies to be able to provide it all over the country. from just Minnesota Wild games alone.
And like your whole fan base is average, slightly overweight, white guys like us. So if you don't like that, then you just don't like your own fans.
Yeah.
So that's again, like that's Dave Portnoy needs to look in the mirror a little bit.
That was just great. Yeah. Well, welcome to the Midwest. This is it. It's not
That was gold.
we don't try to pretend we're something we're not. We've come to terms with this is the way life is here.
And like that was I think the bar opened in January of 22. It was like right before the national championship game. That's like bulking season, man. Like that's when we're at our peak fatness. So
Post holidays.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Again, like that's who we are. That's what you hired. That's what you're gonna get here.
Yeah, it's Midwest in the middle of January in the winter. We can't go run beachside somewhere going for jogs. We go to a bar and we drink beer and watch sports.
And we look at each other. That's
what you do.
We're not going to start talking about our feelings or anything like that. We're
the only workouts we're getting is shoveling snow.
Yeah.
So, like,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's about it in the winter. Which, by the way, we need to shovel. Are you guys getting all the snow right now? We're in the middle of a 1.5-foot snowmageddon in Minnesota.
It was like a drizzle, gross rain today. So sorry. No. We're just like that much too far south of you guys. Where
it's still gross though. The fucking rain.
It was bad.
Shit.
I didn't like it, but I'm not going to complain if you guys are getting 18 inches, and I'm just like I'm a little wet.
Yeah. People are getting stuck right now in their vehicles. You know.
Yeah, we got a snowblower though in the off season at the 10K house though, which is a nice addition because we had multiple guests last year almost die going up our driveway. So
not good.
Need that.
Yeah. It's all about making the improvements.
So you're safe. You're safe on Zoom right now. You know your life's not threatened.
No,
over Zoom.
Good.
Exactly.
I don't know if I can shovel 18 inches now. That might be like a heart problem for me.
Yeah. I honestly we're probably gonna have to do it in shifts because there's gonna be injuries that are gonna happen.
We're gonna develop some weird shit.
Just hunker down. Don't even just wait for spring.
Yeah, it'll all melt eventually, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, we think so. We think so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
just
why not?
Bust the 4-wheel drive on the trucks and just battle up the roads and driveways. We're fine.
Yeah,
we all have trucks except for one of our roommates, unfortunately. But well, one question for me I have left. Speaking of Barstool personalities, what's White Sox Dave been up to? How's he doing?
Dave's we've been doing a little hunting, right? So we hunted before Christmas, and then the weekend between we went back down and hunted again. Didn't get anything, but man, like that's a guy. You just got to turn him out loose in the wild every once in a while. Like that's how he charges his batteries. He is a wild animal. He's not meant to be in an office. He's meant to be like, what was that? The old Bortles quote? Like, what would you be doing if you weren't a quarterback? He's like, I don't know, construction, like smoking cigs.
Yeah, Blake Bortles. That's right.
Yeah, like that's kind of Dave. Like he's got to be able to like run around outside like a puppy, get some energy out, and he is like he's one of my favorite people in the company. I'm like he's like an actual friend of mine, but he's a different guy outside, like literally, and I mean like outside, like in the woods. Like he's in a great mood. He's funny to be around. He's making jokes. And that's like his natural. He's got to be in his natural habitat. So we've had him caged up too long. So he's good. He's good now. He's like refreshed, and we're moving forward into 2023. But he needed to be in the woods for a bit.
Yeah. And final question for me: anything big on the horizon of Barstool Chicago? I know you mentioned Big Cat, like 25 other people coming, big new office. That's a lot. But anything else?
Yeah. I can't really tip it too much yet, but I can tell you guys afterwards.
Okay. Yeah.
We're fundamentally like changing what we do. So in a couple weeks it's Redline, and we're gonna have like another new show. It's all going to be a little bit different in probably starting like January 15th, something like that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Excited.
People, make sure you look out for that. Sounds like some exciting stuff, especially with the office. I'm excited to see your full court basketball. I'm actually excited to see if you guys use the full court or how long you use the full court.
Get some 3-and-3 games going.
I think it's going to be one of those things where we'll be racing tricycles around that court one day. We'll be, Dan's going to have us doing. Being monkeys on the wheel, everyone, for this new office. So we'll be doing all kinds of stupid hijinks in that place for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love it.
Well, Chief, before we let you go, I can't remember. Did we do the rapid fire with you last time?
You know, I've got the worst memory.
Okay, good.
I
So
honestly can't.
the only reason I ask is because we don't switch up the questions enough as we should.
It'll be fine.
But I don't think you did it last
Hey,
time.
well, there's no chance I'm going to recall.
Perfect.
that was
so
technically
good.
a different podcast.
True,
too,
that
so.
was like the Wild Takes.
Wild Takes podcast.
This
Yeah.
this is different. Okay, cool. So yeah, just 10 questions. You just answer them as fast as you can.
Okay.
All right, you're on a deserted island. You only get one choice of alcohol for the rest of your time there forever. What is it?
I'm gonna go. I'll be efficient. I'll take the Woodford Reserve. I gotta have a little whiskey. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Damn.
I literally tried that. I was on an ice fishing trip last week, and one of our buddies brought up a big thing of Woodford Reserve. That was gone within like 2 days.
It's great. I'm not a big. I've got a buddy who's like a connoisseur of whiskeys, and he like gives me all these like fancy like we'll go over to his place and like sip them, and I can't really tell the difference. But he's like, this is a good bottle for not that much money. I think they're like $45 at Whole Foods or Binny's around here. So that to me is like, I like drinking whiskey, and I'm not sophisticated enough for like the really good stuff. So that's perfect for me.
It's very
There we
good.
go. How many fourth graders could you fend off in self-defense?
What kind of weapons do I have? Anything?
Your fists and legs, if you're into that.
You know, I got a 7-year-old nephew, so he's in first grade. I could beat the shit out of the 10,000 of him. So maybe 5,000 fourth grade. I think I could beat the
Okay.
shit out of him.
All right.
Yeah,
no, I
I'm
like the
not-
confidence.
Like just keep them coming, and I'll
Yeah.
just like stiff arm them, bash them, kick them.
Yep.
And I think you'll drop them pretty easy.
Maybe
They're not
headbutt a
fourth
few of
graders.
them.
You could do Nazi zombie style, you
Yeah.
know, different waves.
Yeah.
You could progress up.
Yeah,
and,
you get a little time.
Well, I
round
think they
rounds.
got glass jaws, especially fourth graders now. They're not tough. They don't like play outside, scrape
No.
knees like we used to do as kids.
No.
So you just hit one of those kids one time, they're done.
Yeah, they're running away for sure.
Yeah.
This is normally a local question, but I switched it up Chicago, even though you kind of answered it already. But Cubs or Sox?
Oh, Cubs.
So is that while we're on the subject, really quick, is that something that like is a geographical thing? Like how do you know which, or is it the way you were raised, or?
Yeah, it's a combination. So like the south suburbs, okay, and the south side of Chicago, that's all White Sox. Like
Yeah.
you might have like if you have a class like your fourth grader class, okay, let's say there's 30 kids in there, you might have 2 Cubs fans in that 30 down there, and it's like the inverse kind of everywhere else. So the Cubs fan base is bigger, and then it is kind of what you were raised on. Like if your dad is Cubs, then you're Cubs, and if your dad's a White Sox, then that's the way it is. But I'd say the split in the city is probably 60-40 Cubs,
Okay.
but the White Sox fans are more hardcore about it, if that makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
Like
Like,
people
so
people
if
like
you-
White
if you
Sox
had-
Dave. People like him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
just a
well,
lot
I
of
think
them.
if you had like 10 a brawl with 10 guys and 6 of them were Cubs fans and 4 were White Sox fans, I'd probably pick the 4 White Sox fans to win the fight.
That makes sense to me, just at least based on what I know about the south side of Chicago. So
Yeah.
that adds up.
They're tough Irish and Italian boys down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would you rather slap a random baby or your own grandmother?
My nanas are dead, so I guess I have to. Well, I guess I'll slap a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. That does limits your options.
Also, and like my nana was 5 feet tall, but like tough Irish from South Boston, like smoked 2 packs a day for 85 years. If I slapped her, I'd get something coming back real quick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think I'll
Something
just
much
take
worse.
the baby and deal with those consequences.
Yeah, for sure. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No, I don't like that. Don't fruit my pizza.
Yeah. If you're given an all expenses paid trip to Edmonton, would you take it?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't think about it,
I've
though.
been to Calgary. Calgary's great. I've heard Edmonton's brutal,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I'll explore it.
Yeah.
As long as I can leave when I want to. If they're like, you have to go for a week, I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
But if I could leave after 48 hours, I would take that.
Okay. And you'd take what's your bit with traveling? You take your shoes off on the plane, right? But not your socks. Is that the rule?
Yeah. Well, if it's a longer flight, so like I went to London in like Memorial Day weekend in May,
Yeah.
and I'm taking my shoes off. I'm sorry. That's a 8-10 hour flight. You want me to be that's almost like a health risk. You get blood clots from that. So I'm taking them off. I wear clean socks. My shoes don't smell. But if I felt like I had stinky feet, or if I'm going Chicago to New York, which is the flight I do the most, I'm leaving my shoes on for that for sure. But like longer cross country over the ocean, shoes are coming off, and they're coming off fast.
Yeah. There's like a threshold there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And
like all these people, you already saw them. You already saw everybody's feet going through TSA. What's the big deal now that we're on the plane? Shut up. Yeah.
You already have to wear your socks in the airport.
Yeah, goodness.
Right. Yeah. It's all, like we crossed that threshold hours ago in line for TSA.
Why is this weird?
So
right.
Get over it.
Right.
Yeah.
If your laptop could speak, what would it say?
Get a stronger password.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they send us new ones like I think it's every 2 years. Like they lease them or something. And so they come in the mail, and we have this guy, Pete, who does all of our tech. He goes, here's your password. He goes, change it to something personal to you and use all these. I haven't changed it for one day. Like never even consider. It's just the password that it came with.
You're not at least a Post-it note guy, though, are you, that has the password written on it? Because there are people who do that.
Well, I don't even know if I should say this. I'm a Notes app guy.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
A little more secure.
But I feel like someone could hack that, and then they have everything.
Yeah.
So like, what are you gonna take from me? I don't really have anything.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and everyone on our show has admitted like we use the same password for everything. Like if you could crack one of my passwords, you have access to everything. Like you can take my identity at this point.
I've tried to do that. Then it was like Spotify I kept getting locked out of Spotify. So that's the one that's a little bit different. And they're all variations of like the same thing.
Right.
There might be
Different
one
number.
character that's
Yeah.
But you could I'm sure. And I got my bank hacked into right after Christmas.
Oh shit.
Guy named Fizzy, no vowel, FSSI from Algeria got into my bank. So that was unpleasant to deal with. But yeah. So he probably has my passwords to everything already.
Maybe this guy is trying to deliberately destroy you. Maybe he ordered the hit on the front door. Maybe.
Yeah.
This could be linked.
I'm already broken.
Yeah.
You know, like what do you like? The team, I'm miserable. The team suck. The weather's brutal. Like go ahead, take my money.
Yeah.
Come on.
Go ahead and have it.
Yeah.
What's the worst fast food place?
Worst fast food place. So this is where everyone thinks I'm a mutant. I haven't had a lot of them. So I've never had Taco Bell. I've never had Wendy's.
Wow.
So I don't know, like Quiznos. Like I think
That's probably a good one.
Yeah.
That's
Quiznos
definitely a
is
good
trash.
That's actually one that is collectively trash between everybody, but I don't think anyone's ever said it on this, has they?
Quiznos is bad.
We might have
It's
gotten
almost
one.
like so bad that you forget about it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's very forgettable. Although it's odd, the town that we moved to, like our house, has Quiznos here randomly in like a strip mall.
True story. I walked in that Quiznos and immediately walked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
You're like, yeah, there's no way I'm not going to walk away from this place with food
They used to be all over the place, at least up here, and then they just started, going out like crazy
people
for good
realize.
reason. Yeah, it's shit.
Yeah. It's like Subway's little brother is what I always thought of it as. But
And then all Subway's getting
Subway's
shit
kinda
on.
bad too.
Yeah, exactly.
Subway,
Now-
well, Subway was cool because they were like the first ones to do the build your own sub thing. But then at least like for someone like me, I'm like, wait, I don't trust myself to do this. So I started ordering off the menu.
And then you realize, like, oh, wait.
With Subway is when they bake the bread and they have it in like those rubber mats. And I'm like, that's not right.
No.
Like,
This is weird.
Just put it in the oven like you're supposed to. Like invest in like the ceramic pan, please.
Yeah. And I can't remember what the TikTok was, but it was someone just like punching something and it said Subway employees to like the mayo bottle because they're always just boom. Like before they put it on the sandwich, it's like you don't need to hit it that hard.
No. You're doing
Still love
something
that.
wrong.
Yeah. If a movie is made about your life, who's playing you?
The guy, people tell me when I'm in better shape, tell me I look like him all the time, is his name is Jake Johnson, from the main guy from New Girls. So I'd probably just pick him.
Oh, Nick Miller?
Nick Miller.
Yeah, I
Nick
can
Miller.
see it.
Yeah, I get that all the time. Like, and then we had him on the podcast.
Because he
And
plays
we're
a guy from Chicago in the show.
Yeah,
right?
he is from
Yeah,
Chicago.
he's
exactly.
originally
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Chicago.
He's from here. So he's like a pretty Like we had him on, and usually like those celebrity like actor types are like, oh yeah, I'm a Bears fan, but they only do it to like be on the Tonight Show, so they have like some cheap thing. Like you could tell like he cares. Like he was just as miserable as us about it.
Wow, that's sweet.
I've weirdly been told I look like Nick Miller.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
By some people. I don't know why. Like some people will be like, you don't look like Kirk Cousins. You look like Nick Miller. It tends to be some females.
I think it's the nose.
Girls love Nick Miller, so
Yeah.
I maybe lean into that.
No guys have ever said it, but some women have said it.
Yeah.
It's
well,
weird.
I don't think any guys watch that show. Really.
No. Yeah.
Right.
But we have.
I've watched it.
It's a damn good show.
I'm not.
It has some moments. I dated a girl during COVID where we like kind of binged that for a couple of weeks watching that show. So it's not bad.
Yeah, I think Schmidt is just what makes it funny. He's the reason I watch it, because the outrageous shit that he says is what makes me laugh. But final question: give us your strike 3 call.
Oh, this is like an old school Barstool.
Yeah, right, that's where we got it from.
Yeah. Man, fuck. Ha! I was just
that's
punch him out.
That's
Love
it.
Yeah.
People know what that means.
Yeah.
It's just
umping
you
language.
got him right there,
Yep.
and then maybe punch him out if it's
throw a hand action in there too. I
do something.
really quick. I saw like a throwback. I don't know when it was, but a guy got ejected from the game, and the manager. I think it was a minor league game. The manager gets ejected. He walks into the tunnel, grabs a trash can, and puts it right behind where the ump sits, and he points at him, points at the trash can, and walks off the field. I'm like, as
classic.
a manager, and you're getting kicked out, you don't need to say anything, but if you do that, you have won the argument.
Yeah.
So
That's it. You're correct.
Yep.
Yeah. You're already
I
kicked
might as
out
well
anyway.
retire on the spot.
Yeah, you're already
If I
kicked
were a
out.
minor league manager, I would try to get kicked out of like 30% of the games.
Yeah. And there was that famous guy who I think he was like Atlanta's minor league team who he army crawled, and then he grabbed the thing on the mound and threw it over his head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great clip.
Crazy
moment.
shit in minor league baseball.
Well, thanks, Chief, as always, for taking the time and joining us. It's always a blast to catch up with you.
Yeah, I like you guys. That was fun.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to It's a Bit. Great discussion with our friend Chief, as always, and the fellas in Barstool Chicago. But let's finish off the show with Wags' game 20 questions. Last time we played this, there was some heated arguments, some controversy, and I hope we can all walk off the field today with better sportsmanship, I guess. But we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully we're still going to be all friends at the end of this.
Yeah, and hopefully we made friends and not enemies by the end of this. What do they say? Is that the term? I don't know.
Along the lines, but essentially,
know.
pretty much this game is a head-to-head version of 20 questions. It's going to be called 15 questions because we got 3 people and we do 5 rounds. 3 times 5, I believe that's 15. So 15 questions, head-to-head format, and I guess we can start with Jack, go to Jake, and Cam. The topic today is going to be animal.
Okay, and for those who don't know, you cannot guess on the first
round.
turnaround. Yeah. So
First round. Yep.
Animal. Okay, is it a mammal?
It is. I believe yes, it's a mammal.
Mammal. All right. Does it live in Africa?
Yes.
Oh.
Is this animal a sports team?
A mascot.
At least I can't. I'm not thinking of a pro sports team with the name of the animal.
So no?
I can't think of one. I'm not. There might be a minor league team or something, but not a pro sports.
Okay, so it's a mammal in Africa. I can't ask the color because that's probably going to give it away. This is a stupid question, but it's helpful. Was this animal featured in the film Madagascar?
Well, which one, bro?
Shit, I've only seen the first one. The first one.
Okay, the first one, yes, it is featured in the first.
Okay, that actually narrows it down.
Never seen
one.
Oh yeah, good. Cam's never seen movies,
No.
so
Yeah. But it's been a long time for me. But I genuinely have an idea.
Me too.
Listen.
No, it's actually been a while.
Is it a gorilla?
It is not a gorilla.
Just gonna go off on a limb. Is it a hippopotamus?
It is not a hippopotamus.
Dorothy, is that her name?
I don't know.
Hippo Hop.
I like them big. Dude, that was a great movie.
Yep. Is it a zebra?
Damn, congratulations. It is a zebra.
All
Jack.
right.
Zebra.
Ding, 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 ding,
Madagascar.
ding, ding,
That's
ding,
definitely
ding.
a Madagascar.
And then he was
thing.
one of the more iconic characters because it was played by Chris Rock.
Chris Rock,
who
yeah.
got punched in the
Marty,
face
right?
on the Oscars.
Yep.
His name was Marty, right?
Yep.
Yep. And then Ben Stiller was the lion.
Yep.
Yep.
Good film. Remember how many
The
different
Penguins?
spin-offs of the Penguins did they make? Those Penguins became easily the most
They made a
popular.
show.
Yeah, there was like a Nickelodeon
Yeah, it was literally
show.
on Disney.
I just remember
right?
the smile and wave boys.
I
That
feel
was
like
great.
the Penguins and then Boots from Shrek are still doing spin-offs.
Yeah.
I feel like I still see stuff on the Penguins
Puss in Boots.
and Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots.
Okay, we got Jack with the first round.
Nice.
We'll move
Nice.
on. We'll move on to the second one. We'll go Cam, Jake, Jack this time. The topic is going to be NFL.
Is it a player?
It is not a player.
Is it a team? Oh, is it Cam Jake?
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Is it a team?
It is a team.
Nice.
Is this team in the AFC or NFC?
The team is in the. Oh my goodness! I believe they are in the NFC. Yeah, they're in the NFC.
Shit.
We're just gonna start guessing, aren't we?
I don't want to say division.
Well,
'cause
there's
that,
16
like,
teams, right?
what's one of the colors?
Oh.
Oh.
Dude, gosh, the teams haven't here. Let me look at a current jersey of theirs.
I mean, every team
Because
is
I don't know,
white.
it's
It's
I
a
feel like
beige
they have
red.
a bunch of different colors. Let's just say, I think their last game they wore kind of like navy's the base color, I guess.
Okay.
Navy.
And don't quote me on that.
I know who it
is. Is it the Seattle Seahawks?
Yes, it is the
Yeah.
fucking
That
Seattle
was my
Seahawks,
fucking
dude.
guess.
I was thinking
Dude, they
that
have so
too.
many different colors in their jerseys, man. They got like a completely green jersey, a gray
color
one, a
gave it
white
away,
one, and
God
that
damn it.
navy based. I didn't even know what color to say.
Yeah, they got a lot going on.
Yeah, like that.
Okay,
Well, that
it's,
bright
what,
neon.
Jack has one, Cam has one. Is that what we're at right
No,
now?
Jack and Jake both have
Yeah.
one. I'm
I
struggling.
just
Oh.
snagged one.
Sounds good. We'll go Jack, Jake, Cam again. TV shows is gonna be the topic, Jack.
Okay. Is it still on the air?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a comedy?
Yes.
Ugh. What streaming platform is it on?
I think it's for sure on Hulu right now. Might be on more.
Ooh. I'm just gonna fire a guess right now. Is it Family Guy?
It is not.
All right. This maybe give it away more, but
Give it away! Give it away! Give it away now!
Jesus.
give it away, give it away.
Sorry, that was me
That's
this
why.
time.
That's
Yeah,
why
that was
people need
music.
breaks, Jake.
Jack does the music bit too. All right. Is this show an animation?
Yes.
Oh. Is it
That
American?
helps out a lot.
Is it American Dad?
It is American
I
Dad.
was
We're all
about-
tied
I
up
was
to this.
thinking-
That was going to be my
guessing
next
that.
guess. So what, really quick, Zane, I know you're an American Dad guy, at least from what I remember.
Mhm.
Was that show was originally created because Family Guy got canceled, and he's like, well, I'm just going to basically do the same thing, but in another setting,
Yeah,
right? And then
exactly,
Family Guy
and then they
came
brought it
back,
back.
so he just kind of balances the two.
Yeah, I think eventually he gave like a few years ago he gave complete like control of American Dad to someone else, but that's what he did do for the longest time.
But he
yeah.
still does all the voices in it. I know he does like
Yeah.
Roger, Stan, probably the kid. Probably
Yeah.
does 90%. He does 90% of the voices in everything he does. It's incredible.
Insane.
Dude, he's absolutely hilarious, and I really recommend Seth MacFarlane's new show, or his newer show, The Orville. You guys should definitely watch it. But we
Yeah.
can move on.
Yeah.
Move
I'll
on.
move on.
Let's go.
Inside joke.
We'll go to famous birthdays on the day this podcast is going to be released, which is January 4th. We'll go Cam, Jake, Jack.
Is it an athlete?
Yes.
Are they currently playing or retired?
They are currently playing.
What sport do they currently play?
They play football.
Foosball.
What team do they play for?
Uh-oh.
For the Tennessee Titans.
I know who it is. No. I guess I don't know exactly who it is.
That was maybe too specific.
That might have been.
Might have been, but there's a. I feel like it's not going to be as obvious as I think it is. There's one guess that's very obvious, but that would be too easy. Maybe it wouldn't be though.
Yeah.
Makes you think.
Yeah, it makes it think.
Jake, let's hustle this up.
Aw, is it Derrick Henry?
It is Derek
God
Henry.
damn
My
it.
life. Why did I
Cam, you
ask?
gave that to him. That's on you.
Did.
D. Henry.
I was gonna say if it's not him or if it's not Ryan Tannehill, I couldn't name another person on the Titans.
I was thinking of the.
I'm not even kidding.
Who's the stud or not?
But Malik Beasley, I can name him. That's about it.
That's a basketball player.
You're thinking Malik
Willis.
You're thinking of Malik Willis or Vic Beasley, but he also doesn't play.
Yes.
Malik
first name, right? You guys knew
Beasley?
what I meant.
That was the guy who pulled a gun on someone.
Yeah,
on the Parade of
Parade
Homes.
We talked
on
about
his child. Wasn't that his child? Or at
No,
least
that
that was the initial story going around, and they kind of confirmed that wasn't true.
Is that a family on a Parade of Homes tour that also had a child?
Go Wolves.
That's it. Yeah.
Hashtag raised by wolves.
Hashtag raised by wolves.
Didn't he get traded in the Rudy trade?
Yeah.
Rudy Gilbert.
He was doing like a work release thing where he could only drive from work and home, right? Or he was at a halfway house.
Yeah, something like that.
I wonder if he's still doing that in Utah or wherever he went.
What a weird to be a multimillionaire and that's your situation. That's crazy to me.
It's just fucked.
It's nuts. Damn it.
Okay.
Two, 2-1-1.
Jake is leading by 1 here. We have two rounds left. I guess the next topic, we've never done anything like this. I guess easy to make food is the topic. We'll go Jack, Jake, Cam.
Okay. Easy to make. So is it primarily made in a microwave?
Yeah. I would say it's like that or oven. I mean,
by the way,
use both.
I'm a microwave guy. I'm a microwave guy. I probably cook 90% of the meals I eat in the microwave. So
Jesus.
If I didn't have a microwave, I'd probably die of starvation.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of living in 2022, not Alaska.
23, Jake.
In the wilderness. 2023. It takes a month. It takes me like 2 months.
Just ask a question.
Is it a frozen food?
Yes, you buy it in the frozen now.
Okay, so we narrow it down.
Oh fuck. Does it involve meat?
Yeah, you could say that it sometimes involves meat. Yeah.
Sometimes involves meat.
Huh.
I was just about to ask if
Oh.
it's chicken nuggets, but that would not be it. Is it a breakfast bowl?
It is not. That's very specific. It is not a
But that
breakfast
sometimes
bowl.
involves meat, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, you never
You
know.
get whichever you want in those fucking things.
Oh, Jiminy cripes.
JJ.
Is it? I just had a thing in my head. Is it lasagna?
It's not lasagna. No.
Microwave lasagna.
You can microwave lasagna.
Yeah, if
You
you
really want to.
If you want to go to prison too.
God.
I don't personally, but I know you can.
Fuck, I don't even know where to go with this. Is it pasta related?
No.
Oh, okay.
Is it a microwavable burrito?
It is not.
I
No.
just think about that time Bubba in the studio bought like 4 microwavable burritos and ate all 4
They're
of them.
huge, too.
Yeah.
They're like a foot
The
long.
jumbo XL ones.
Jesus. About 4.
Those have meat in them, so
Yeah.
that was my guess.
Chicken pot pie. Is it a chicken pot pie?
It's not a chicken pot pie. No.
Fuck. I'm
I'm
stumped.
pretty stumped too.
It sometimes involves meat. It's not pasta.
You find it in the frozen aisle. You can cook it via microwave or oven. Those are kind of the main facts that we have right now. And the topic is easy to make food.
Oh, I got a guess.
I don't even know where to go. I'm stumped.
Bad radio.
Yeah, I'm actually stuck.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you're being a Jake right now.
I know.
Make a guess of a food item or move on.
How long does it usually take to cook in the microwave?
Oof. See, I couldn't tell you that off the top of my head, but not super long. Like you could cook it and eat it all within like 10, 15 minutes, I believe.
Is it pizza?
It is not pizza, but you're on a close track.
Okay.
Fuck.
Pizza.
Sometimes involved meats, oven or microwave. I thought that was it.
I have a guess, but
Pizza. It's on the right track of pizza. Oh, I guess. Well,
I got it.
Oh fuck! I think I have it too.
I don't definitely
Too late.
have it. So Cam's probably gonna snag it here because I don't know it. Is it? I don't know. Pizza rolls.
You fucker.
Yes, it's pizza rolls.
I was actually gonna guess hot pocket.
I thought pizza rolls because Hot Pocket, no one cooks those in the oven, right? Like it's
You,
designated.
well,
You can.
I feel like it would probably slap in the oven. Actually,
It would probably be
Hot
better.
Pocket and an air fryer
Oh my God.
might be the call. I just realized. that.
Actually, you know what? Pizza rolls in an air fryer.
I've done it.
Yes,
are
I've
the
done
call.
that.
I've done
I've
that
done
a few times. They're super good.
Yep.
I need to do that.
God, I just hate pizza rolls though because I feel like they're either scorchingly hot to where you burn your tongue, you're gonna feel it for the next 4 days, or they're so cold to where like
It's gross.
sensitive teeth hurt because
Yeah.
they're so cold.
It's,
They're
it's
mushy.
kinda
I mean,
gross.
don't you
There's
do
no in
the?
between.
You got to bite the corners, and you got to let
Correct.
like the fire kind of breathe out of those things before diving on in.
See,
or
but
else
then
you'll
I
be dragging
then I
and
wait
spitting
too
it.
long, or like I know I have to wait a while, and then I get distracted and do something else, and they're cold. But you're right. There's a middle ground. I'm probably just an idiot.
And then you dip them in some nice cold ranch too
Yeah.
on top of that,
Oh.
and it cools it down.
I've actually
even
never
more.
done that with pizza
It's
rolls. That
pretty
sounds
good.
amazing, though.
Haven't done it in a while, but I should do it.
All
So
right,
Jake
fuck
technically
yeah.
wins this one, but we can do the final 6th round just for fun to
let's
see who
do
comes
it.
into second.
God damn it! How do we let Jake always win this fucking game?
I don't know, but this was the most.
It used
This
to
was
be
probably
my game, but I
the
suck
least
lately.
controversial game we played, though.
I'm proud of us. We're very
Cordial.
very cordial and proper.
Yeah.
We're gentlemen. It's almost like in It's Always Sunny before they play Charlie McDennis.
Yeah.
And they're like drinking wine, and then they're like, "Ladies and gentlemen, suck my dick," and they spike their glasses and they start screaming at each other, and they start the game.
We need to do that.
We never got to. We should actually do that before. Never.
This was
sorry.
too nice.
Maybe we'll do a wine and cheese hour
Yeah.
like they do before.
Ooh, a charcuterie hour.
For
Yeah.
oh, the charcuterie boards.
Yep.
Ooh. We'll
I'm
do
not-
the final little round here. We'll go Cam, Jake, Jack, and we'll be MMA is the topic. MMA.
Oh God, we're all fucked.
Is this a fighter?
No.
Okay. Is it a piece of equipment?
No.
Oh goodness. Is it a location?
No.
Fight Island.
I don't know.
Fight
It's not
Island.
actually
that
on it.
would have been good.
Remember
This-
how many people were pissed that Fight Island wasn't an island? It's like, do you realize the logistics they would need to put an MMA event on an island?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Dana White's like,
and
I
on
can't
top-
put it on a beach.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that too, people were like, "Well, yeah, like why wouldn't it be on a beach, dude? In Dubai, it's like 100 degrees all the fucking time. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, there's no possible way fighters are gonna fight in that
People
scorching.
would die.
They would have heat exhaustion by round 2.
Yes, exactly.
Is it Bruce Buffer?
It is not Bruce Buffer.
Ooh.
Great guess though.
Wow.
Is it Dana White? He didn't have a very good last few days.
Yes, it is Dana White. Ding, 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 ding,
I was
ding,
gonna
ding.
guess
Jack
that.
gets,
Relevant as of
second.
now. Did you guys see that video?
Yeah.
So
He's
fucked.
punching his wife.
No, I did not see
Well, his
that.
wife slapped him, and then he just slapped her.
Wow,
back.
it's
her
like, bro,
back.
it is not the UFC
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. Well, they both came out and said they were drunk, and it's like, okay, but dude, you realize
Bro.
like you are Dana White. Like someone's always going to be filming you.
Yeah, and it's 2022. No matter how that looks, it's
Well,
it
you know,
looks
it's like
bad.
Jack's joke where it's like, you know, he just did
2023.
football at the wrong time. He just did MMA at the wrong
Correct,
time. He shouldn't
yeah.
do it on New Year's Eve at a club to his wife.
To his wife.
No.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Even if
Fine.
it
But
is
I mean, like,
consensual.
not that it justifies his actions. She did throw the first blow, so I mean, it doesn't justify him swinging back. But like, just that was crazy to see. Just because I mean, you kind of know that Dana White's like this kind of Boston scumbaggy type guy, but you really don't see it too much.
Well, and that just proves, like, for people who are out there struggling with money who think, oh, I'd be happy if I just had a little extra money. Like, that guy is filthy rich and clearly has issues. So that's just a little glimmer of hope for us middle-class people.
Yeah,
right
just
there.
be careful if you break into that sphere of wealth.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
well,
if you're
that's...
slapping your wife in public, that's probably the time to shut it down.
Yeah.
let's
stop.
just shut that down in general.
Yeah.
All right, that's another episode of It's a Bit, folks, presented by 10,000 Takes. Thanks again for listening so much. You can follow us on all socials at 10K Takes. Go to the website, 10ktakesmn.com, to read all of our awesome blogs. Check out the other 5 pods we got in the network. They're all in the link that's either in our Instagram or Twitter bio. You can find all the different stuff we do. Once again, make sure to use promo code 10K when you sign up for Better Edge to place that first bet. $20. Throw it on the Vikings this week, maybe. There's a lot of people
They did
sitting.
this jump from minus 1.5 to minus 4. I saw
Yeah.
today, so.
Did they? Why is
Yeah.
that?
Aren't they sitting
I
everyone?
don't, I
though?
don't, I don't think Fields is playing. I think the
Oh.
Bears are sitting everyone too.
They're just. I mean, they can call it in. I mean,
Yeah, didn't
They want a
Fields
pick.
fuck up his hip, right?
Yeah, he got hurt, and then I'm pretty sure they just want a better draft pick.
and then, but well, I think per Chris Thomason,
He's irrelevant.
whatever. But I think Well, I'm just saying my source, so because it's
right,
okay.
good,
My
good.
sources say that Kevin O'Connell is going to play all the starters because he said
Yeah.
that
'Cause he's a
the
winner.
second seed is still in play, and
heard
he's a
that too.
winner.
He's a winner.
And he has a big cock because he
There
is
you
a
go.
big cock.
Yep.
There you go.
And speaking of the Vikings, listen to us between the first and second segment of Vikings pregame on the official Vikings radio network, KFAN 100.3 or KFAN.iHeart.com, 2 hours before the game. Thanks, guys, so much for supporting us and listening to another episode of It's a Bit. We'll see you next week.